No, there is no kayfabe. No, there is no. I mean, in the 60s when I started, the heroes rode one car, babyface rode another. You never did that. You never talked to anybody in a restaurant. Or people always say, I remember the other guy, saw this guy and that guy wrestling, they went to the bar and had a beer together. Nah, didn't happen as much as people think. It really didn't. It probably did, but not like everybody says.
Right.
People really, the boys really protect the business because your mentality was, you can't let them know it's fake, or they won't buy tickets, and that's what feeds us. So that's what it was. And stuntmen didn't show you how to do stunts. The funny thing about the business is, we've never said it was real. You people said it was fake. Right?
Right.
At the beginning of Roseanne show, does Tom Arnold come out and say, I'm not really married to her? Does Carson come out and say, Ed McMahon only is here for a half hour a night? They never tell anybody what it is. It's a show. It was a television show. That's all it was. That's all it was.
What was your reaction in the locker room when, I guess, Iron Sheik and Jim Duggan got caught together in the car? Because they were feuding at the time and stuff like that. And, I mean,
it had to happen. Probably happened years, 100 times before that.
Yeah, just
never brought up because WWF was getting popular then. That's why it was. Years ago, they let you go. The cops let you go.
Right.
That's what it was. You were popular.
Who were some of the earlier guys that you managed also in the WWF?
I managed the Missing Link.
I remember that.
I'm trying not to.
What was he like outside the ring, W?
He came up to me the first night. He says, what time is your fight tomorrow? I said, around 10. He said, mine is around 11. He said, if you get there 9:45, that's fine. I said, for what? He said, to get my boarding pass. I said, why can't you get it? He said, well, my gimmick, I don't talk. I said, well, you're going to have to now. I'm your manager 20 minutes a night if you go that long. I said, I'm not paid to take care of you on the road.
Right.
He said, well, I got the face and the hair. I said, this is New York. They'll just think you have a bad hairdo.
Right.
They won't care. You'll blend in. But no, I was never anybody's manager. I never wanted to do that. I never wanted to be responsible for someone's life. That's why I never wanted to be a booker or a promoter. I want to make sure people make a living. I don't have enough time making myself a living. Don't worry about making a bunch of crybabies a living.
Right.
Being a manager, if you were a real manager, it would be like working at a daycare center all day with adults. Yeah.
I guess the only shoot manager would be Paul Ellering.
Yeah, look how good he's doing.
Right. So you
What did he ever do? What did he ever do?
Yeah.
Really, what did he ever do? Couldn't work. Nice guy. Couldn't draw you a dime. He just slid there with the Wall Street Express.
Right.
What was it?
Did you have any other roles besides managing? Obviously, not the boys, but behind the scenes as far as...
Well, with WWF, I used to produce the interviews. Myself, Jack Lanza, and George Steele. I produced a big portion of them. I don't tell them what to say. They knew what to say, but I would watch it, make sure it came across okay. And a lot of guys are very easy to work with. Some guys, Ultimate Warrior, you couldn't produce him. You know why? He was too good for the business. He was too smart.
As far as what?
Where is he now? I mean, that's the truth. That's the way it is.
Who were some of the other guys that were difficult to work with?
Alabama wasn't easy to produce. Rubber bands are too tight.
You'll see it today, actually.
Yeah, Piper wanted to do his own thing.
Right.
Some guys want to do their own thing. I don't mind that.
Did Vince allow that, or did he say, no, you gotta stick?
No.
That's it.
Vince was cool. Vince knew it's not like we're a team. Everybody plays the same. It can't be that way. There are stars and there aren't stars, and some people have to be treated differently to make a business run. And he knew how to treat everybody differently, and it worked.
How did you get into the announcing with Gorilla Monsoon?
Jesse went and did that movie with Arnold.
Okay, Predator.
And he was doing prime time then. So then Vince asked me if I would want to do that. I said, sure. So when I did that, and then I did The Garden, Madison Square Garden,
Right.
and then I did Challenge, and Jesse was a big movie star then, so I looked into it.
How's it
That's
work?
what happened to me at WCW too. They didn't like Jesse there because him and Hogan have a problem.
Right.
Jesse has a bigger problem than Hogan does.
What is the real story between the two? I mean, that's fun.
I think, first of all, Jesse always wanted to be superstar Billy Graham. And then Graham disappeared. And then in Minneapolis, then Hogan came in. And Jesse was jealous of Hogan. That's what it was. Jesse probably has more sleepless nights worrying about Hogan than he does the state of Minnesota. Hogan is never worried about Jesse. And that's what it is, I think. Jesse is jealous of Hogan.
And they carried over there.
Jesse was a great talker. Had strange looking outfits. But when the bell rang, it was over.
Couldn't work.
No.
No.
No disgrace, no disgrace to that, because I can't be a governor of a state, but he couldn't work. But he could work, because he could draw people. But he couldn't take bumps, and he couldn't entertain you physically in the ring.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
He must be good at politics because he's not doing that, so.
Well, a lot of people can do that, you know. A lot of people are, there's a lot of good preachers out there, too.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
I mean, look at Tammy and Jimmy. I'd like them for neighbors.
Yeah.
I would. It'd be fun looking over the fence.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Gorilla Monsoon, how did you get along with him behind the scenes?
Oh, one of the best friends I've ever had in my life. Just an honest, decent man. I mean, he meant no harm to anyone. But he was honest with you. He'd tell you if there was something wrong. He'd tell you if you were the shits or weren't. But he was just a good man.
Some of the skits you did on primetime were just hilarious. I mean,
We never rehearsed anything.
all ad lib.
We would sit down, what are we going to do tonight? This is a Halloween show. Let's do this and that. That's how it went. And not that we were that good. We just were that good with each other.
Right.
And it really was fun. It was fun. That was the most thing about it. It was fun. It wasn't a job. I look forward to going to be with him. Yeah.
Any of the skits stand out the most? I mean, you guys went to Vegas one time.
I remember Halloween when we did, where Monsoon wore a gorilla mask the whole time and had a tux on and
Right.
gorilla hands. At the end of the show, we noticed that a cameraman was about the same size as him. So I said, Gino, switch with the guy. So the cameraman came and sat down, put the mask on, put Gino's tux on, had the hands.
Right.
And as we're wrapping up the show, Monsoon walks in with his bag and everything. He said, I'm sorry I'm late. Who have I been with for 2 hours?
Right.
But just stuff like that we used to do, and he was the best.
I remember we went to the movie set, and I think it was the Western movie set.
Blew up with the dynamite.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It took us 2 days. Old Tucson.
Yeah, it was great.
He was mad because I was doing a Super Bowl. He wanted to watch the game.
Right.
He didn't want to be there doing that.
Right. Did anything ever go wrong with the skits? I mean, when you went to Vegas with the live people,
Nah.
everything was.
Nothing. It didn't matter. See, when you're the brain, that's the best gimmick in the world because people expect you to be stupid. So no matter what you do, if it screws up, it works. If it works fine, it works. You can't fail being the brain if you don't care. A lot of guys care about their image. How am I going to look? Like Monsoon said, if you're in this for anything more than money, you're a fool.
Who were the Rosati sisters?
They were three ladies from upstate New York that were friends of Vince McMahon's, and he liked them, and they were just real fans. They were really, really nice people. Yeah.
When they did Terry Taylor and Brooke and Barr, they did the angle in the studio where he slammed them through the thing. Do you think they could have utilized that show for more angles, like live, or because that seemed to come off all right?
I barely remember that. That thing with Terry Taylor and me, that was an embarrassment. I did it because Vince wanted me to, but I mean, he wasn't a top guy. He was never going to draw you money. He was just an underneath guy. So he made him a rooster. So, a brawler, you could have done better with him if he had been smarter. He was from Brooklyn, but he didn't know how to be a brawler. I took him to Hershey Park Arena, had him way underneath the boilers and get dirty. He went outside and rubbed dirt on himself. It's not that kind of dirt. You got to have building dirt.
Right.
You got to look like, you know, he'd wash your shirt. Nobody washes your shirts. You're a brawler. So that's what I'm saying. Some guys are main event. Some guys aren't. You know, the difference between a limo driver and a cab driver.
What's that?
Limo driver has a suit. It's the only difference.
Getting back to Terry Taylor, do you think that Vince put him into that gimmick as a dig because he was booking for Bill Watts?
Oh, I don't think Terry Taylor was ever a problem where anybody had to punish him for what he did. He was so minute, it was unbelievable.